getting to decisions. This is the outcome that we want from every meeting. We want to get the whole team to commit to a decision by the end of the meeting. How wonderful it would be if every single meeting ended like that, right? Easier said than done. Hey everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Lowell and I am a collaboration coach. I'm also a project manager and a workshop facilitator. Today, I'm gonna talk through 3 methods of getting to a decision through voting. These workshopping methods are perfect for your meetings. You don't have to run a full workshop to get to a decision. And I guarantee that either using one or a blend of these frameworks for making decisions, you will have more effective meetings and more effective workshops. Okay, let's go. All right. Before we talk about all of the techniques, this is known in the workshopping world as multi-layered voting, and it allows teams to get to a decision quickly. Now, let me caveat that getting to a decision does not have to. It doesn't mean that the person with the most seniority in the room doesn't get the last say. When we talk about decision making, there are really a few things that we need to be aware of here and that we need to ensure that we do. The first thing is that everybody has a say. It's important for everybody to be allowed to make their opinions clear and to have a stance. A stance that is not determined by other people in the room, that is not influenced by somebody that might be a bit more vocal, a bit stronger, or a bit more senior. We don't want that. We want everybody to be able to speak their truth and stand in their own decision and point of view. That does not mean that it is full-blown democracy, right? Where we have 7 people in the room, 1 senior leader or the leader for that team, and everybody in the room or the majority of the people in the room think that we should go down one path, but the leader of that team feels that we should go down another path. And because of, majority wins, we end up going down the path that the leader is not happy with. We do not want to do that. And the reason why we don't want to do that is, say you decide to go with decision A. You decide to go with decision A, but the senior team really believes in decision B. As the project for decision A commences and progresses, you will not have the backing of the senior team. The project is likely to die because it's not getting the senior support that it needs to thrive. And on the other end of the spectrum, if we go with decision B, where the senior team is really happy and they're like, yeah, this is the route we need to go down. If you don't have the people actually doing the work bought into that idea, then the motivation to get it done will not be there. And it either slows the work down or it comes to a halt. As you can see, both times things come to a halt. And that's what tends to happen with a lot of projects or decisions that are made for things that need to move forward. It doesn't, because we don't have commitment from everyone. We do not have buy-in. And the reason that we don't have buy-in goes back to my first point. People were not heard. So how do we overcome this? This is how we do it. Let me talk you through these frameworks. The first one is heat map voting. Heat map voting is the first layer for voting. It's when we have a lot of ideas and we really want to see where people are leaning to in the room. The first thing that we need to do is to ensure that all of the ideas that are on the board or on the table are individual and unique. Meaning that if we're brainstorming, we remove all duplicates so everything can stand on its own. Once that's done, then we give people a few votes each. It depends on how many people you have in the room, how many ideas there are. But let's say for argument's sake that we're giving everybody 3 votes each or 5 votes each. Everybody then uses their stickies, whether in a virtual setting or a face-to-face setting, and there are no rules involved. They put a dot on the idea that resonates the most with them, the one that they like, the one that they are drawn to. Or whatever your criteria is for selecting, it could be the one that you think is most feasible, the one that you think that the team has the capability to deliver, or the one that you think is the best one just because of your personal preferences. Whatever, you decide what the criteria is for voting. And then the team go ahead and they distribute their votes as such. And now you have a heat map. To get a feeling for where the group is heading, you now need to revisualize that to make sure that the stickies or the ideas with the most votes appear on top, and then you sequence it accordingly. So, you can see the ones with the most votes on top and the ones with the least votes at the bottom, or completely discarded from the short list. Now we have an idea of where people are heading towards and what the team is focusing on. We now have, okay, these are out of these 30 ideas that were there, these were the top voted ones per the heat map. We now know where the team's head is at in terms of a collective decision on what is most important to them, or what we should now be focusing on. That's the first layer of voting. The second layer of voting is called straw poll voting. And this is when each person is given a single vote with their initials on that vote, so that we can see who votes for what. So there are now 3 examples from the heat map that are at the top as the most interesting ideas. Each person within the team now gets to choose one, saying why they think that one is the most important. And everybody, after voting, and everybody votes at the same time with the straw poll vote, gets about 2 minutes to explain why they voted the way they did. Explain to the group why you think that this option is the most interesting. Give them 2 minutes and everybody goes through that. So the whole team has now presented on why they think the idea that they chose is the best in their opinion. Now, we do not have, for every time we do a vote, when we do straw poll votes and when we do decider votes, which is the third one that I'm going to come to, we need to ensure that we have a decider. And the decider is the person in the room that has the final say, and they're able to sway where the group goes. They typically are the product owner or the senior lead, or the most senior person in the room, for instance. And you can have more than one decider if the situation calls for it. Now, in the straw poll vote, the decider goes last. And this is because we do not want the decider's opinion, because they're the most senior person in the room. It's important that their opinion does not sway the thinking of the other people in the room, the other participants. However, on the converse, the decider should be able to see what each individual thinks, and this is why they choose one idea and present it. So the decider now has insight into what each person on their team thinks and what they believe, and then the decider has a super vote or a couple of super votes. And based on 1, what they already believe is the best idea, and 2, the inputs after hearing what each person on that team believes, they can now make an educated, stronger decision on what is the most important, what idea ranks at the top. And the decider might have 1, 2, 3 votes, whatever you decide, depending on, how you structure the workshop. But now the decider can say, I've now heard what everybody has said. This is what I think, and this is why I think that. And the decider has more time to explain. The decider will open the floor to questions where they can, 1, ask people to clarify their points about what they thought about what before making their final decider vote. And other people can also ask the decider questions as well. So in this case of discussion, this case of clarifying, this process of discussing, this process of clarifying before the decider casts their vote, they have shown that they have heard their team and they can now make a decision. And in doing that, we tick all the boxes. Everyone's heard, and we go down the path that is strategically right for the team. strategically right for the company. And that's it. Those are the 3 layers of voting for making decisions quickly and efficiently within a team. If you liked this topic today, let me know, like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel because we release videos every single week. Looking forward to connecting with you, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.